Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Saltwater Gaming. I am Ellison Smith. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's been relevant for a while and has essentially become a kind of cornerstone of the gaming culture within the internet. Um, a while ago, a long time in gaming years, this game called Demon Souls came, and it was one of those titles. It was an RPG. Um, it was one of those titles that actually challenged a lot of players, just with the way the controls worked, the way that the whole game ran was there was this level of difficulty, and you had to essentially memorize where all the layouts were for enemies, where traps were, and it became this kind of challenge game that if you could beat Demon Souls, you were considered, an elite gamer at that time, and then you have to. There were other little challenges like beat it with low level weapons, or just keep going through it and just only go for the bosses. Just don't even hit anybody else. And there's plenty of others. But that essentially branched into another series that came after it called the Dark Souls series, or the Soul series, and a spinoff called Bloodborne. These games became lovingly known for players needing, for those who failed at these games or just didn't, have the skill set necessary to do it. They became the quote unquote get good games. So today we're going to talk about the whole concept behind, getting good and difficulty, and what makes a game enjoyable, what kind of challenge makes a game enjoyable, and when a game becomes so frustratingly difficult that it's not fun anymore. So today we'll be talking about difficulty. A lot of the times the Souls series is brought up as, the cornerstone of difficulty. It's very much has to do with memorization of the layout of the maps, item usage, weapon upgrades. It's very, very technical. So this is what I would refer to as a technical difficulty-based game, which if you have played the series before, you kind of know what you're expecting. There's a storyline, there's lore, there's stuff for people like regular gamers and myself would enjoy, where we just go and check out the world. But otherwise, it's a lot of dodging. It's a lot of just testing your limits with how fast you can input commands, or button press, or do whatever you need to do to either win the fight or run the heck away from it. So it's very technical, and a large part of gaming culture has stated if you are bad at this kind of technical gaming, the only thing you can do is get good. Now, that's not being said that no one has the ability, because plenty of people have beaten the Souls series on, I would assume, the easiest difficulty. I don't, if there is an easy difficulty. I'm not a follower of it. I just know they get good, and I know a lot of skilled people go after it. From what I remember with gaming, and from everything that I've approached, there are various levels to your challenge. And then they describe them as such. If you're wanting more of the storyline experience, then you pick easy mode. If you want a balanced experience, then you pick normal, and that's your default. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, there's, hard mode. Nowadays, there's at least two other modes following that. It's either going to be some kind of extreme, or legendary, or heroic, or then it's just going to be a complete mess with the following one. For the Kingdom Hearts franchise, that's Proud Mode. Proud Mode's the one that, people are just like, well, I beat it on Proud Mode and I got this such and such an ending. So there's a lot of exclusivity with upping the difficulty. So I'm not sure if it increases the fun, but it increases the challenge, and I guess that's, entertaining to some people. So when we come back, and I know that I'm streamlining through this, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how a game can start off fun and then get increasingly challenging, not through its own software, but through the people that are playing it. So in the meantime, here's Mike to let you know what we've got on tap from Eventide Entertainment this week.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment. Wednesdays on Eventide, Robert Yetter and Mike Shea sit down and throw albums at each other, talking about them, picking them apart, ripping them a new one. All different artists, all different genres, all different levels of suckage. It's Track Record, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on the Eventide podcast feed. For more information, go to eventideent.com. You know, there's nothing quite as satisfying as a good conversation with intelligent company. Join comedian Don Smith every week as he sits down and talks with comedians, actors, filmmakers, writers, and everyday schmoes. It's The Life with Don Smith, Wednesdays at noon on 106.9 FM, and now available on the Eventide Entertainment podcast feed every Friday on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes.
Welcome back to Saltwater Gaming. I am Ellison Smith. So, the whole technical aspect of, a game's difficulty is all well and good. We enjoy a challenge. We enjoy games that push us. We enjoy seeing ourselves overcome this kind of stuff by going from, easy mode to normal mode, or normal mode to hard mode, or hard mode to legendary, or whatever, difficulty settings the game has. But there comes a time, and there comes a specific series where all of that gets thrown out the window. It does not matter. I mean, the difficulty that you put this series in does affect how you play. But it's also one of those games that you play with others. There is a point of contention when it comes to the beloved Mario Party or Mario Kart series, where they are made specifically to have fun with and to, encourage interaction and some nice, shoulder ribbing or little small rivalries that we have taken and fully just nuke the heck out of. just taking these things for a ride. So, everyone who has ever played this series has a Mario Party or a Mario Kart story about how they were either playing with a cousin or a close friend or something. And what started off as a nice, hey, let's play Mario Party. Okay, it's like a board game, but you can play it on your Nintendo 64. For a lot of us, it was the N64 that we first got involved with it. Or your GameCube, or, whatever Nintendo console you had at the time. So, N64, GameCube, Wii, and now Wii U or Switch. Things never go as planned with this series. The mini-games, you can set the difficulty for. The game, you can set the difficulty for. So you can do easy, normal, hard, or, whatever. But, honestly, all that does is just either make the games something to pass as you try and ruin your friends by getting more stars, or they make it an excruciatingly long time. And you can change the number of turns, you can alter the number of turns and all of that, but no matter what you do, there is going to be some either residual anger or just downright hatred. I knowingly have lost at least two friends because of a very specific Mario Party session. I didn't even win the frickin' thing. I played and I won two mini games in a row, and somehow it was four of us, and it was myself and then three other people. The third guy in the party, out of nowhere, just got this lucky break and got 3 stars, all just in a matter of like 1 or 2 turns, just 3 stars, and it broke out into a fight, a legitimate physical fight. Somebody threw a chair, somebody broke a window. It's just, this game was meant for fun and like family enjoyment, and all it does is bring terrible, terrible times. And I think that's why we love it, because we know that once this game starts, it starts off with smiles, but it ends with teeth missing and just awfulness. And the same goes for Mario Kart. Like the whole concept of the blue shell is to screw over whoever is going up against you and to make sure that you win. And Mario Kart, in and of itself, is a competition. It's not marketed as it's a fun time for the whole family. No, this is a race. You are in it to win it. You need to do better. You need to go faster. You need to drift. You need to just do all of the terrible tricks that you have up your sleeve to come in first. It's not even shy about it. That's the whole concept of the blue shell. That's the whole concept of a bunch of the other items. Otherwise, it would be like, hey, here's some banana peels. You can probably easily avoid these. But no, there's a squid that screws up your vision. There's the blue shell. There's lightning that makes you tiny. It's a terrible, terrible game, and I love it so much because it just brings out the worst in everybody, no matter what you do. I know our lovely uh, fellow podcaster, Mike Shia, has a wonderful story about it, and hopefully he would tell that story on one of his podcasts. But if you ever pick up a controller and have the purest intentions of, you know what, I think we should play Mario Kart because today seems like a day that we could have some fun, you're not doing it for the right reasons. That game is purely made to sabotage friendships and just make you lose people and possibly end up with bruises and furniture broken. So, that being said, there is a line that is drawn between, technical difficulty that comes from the game and then the difficulty that is brought upon ourselves when we play against another human being. And I think that the human component in and of itself brings about this new kind of challenge, because you're not going up against the game's software, you're not going up against the game's hardware, you're not going up against NPCs that are just made out of code with like a hitbox or anything like that. You're going up against another living human being who is either better at this game than you, worse at this game than you, or you all are on the same plane. So I love the fact that games can be a testing ground. I know the Souls series had the ability to come in and invade other people's worlds and, mess with them. And that just brought an entirely new level to them. And they are like the epitome of a challenge. And there's other games that people will point out and be like, well, this is better than Souls, this is more challenging, all of that stuff. But for the get good dynamic, they are very much, the top of the line. You have to train yourself to react to all the different enemies. You have to train yourself to dodge. You have to train yourself to, just get through everything without dying or losing your stuff or losing your space. So The Souls series and all the ones that are kind of adjustable, the technical challenges, those are what I would classify as fun and worth it. And they are difficult and they are a slog to get through, but once you do it, you feel such a big amount of pride and just joy, and that is a wonderful feeling. So, for those of you enjoy that want a challenge, try out Dark Souls. Um, be fair warned, they are a little bit. They are a slog to get through. They are just teeming with things that will make you stressed. But they are fun. They are technical. They are a technical difficulty, but they are fun. Anything that puts you against another human being, be it online multiplayer, oh god, Halo, uh, or something that makes you co-op with someone one game and then go against them the next. Those, I think you need to draw the line. That's not a game. That's an organized battle. That is a fist fight waiting to happen through software. So, that being said, play them at your own risk. I will gladly pick up Mario Party, but I know I am going to have a little bit of resentment as soon as that game is over, no matter who wins the stars. No matter what, I'm going to have some rage. Um, so, each game is what you make it. If you want to play, if you want to challenge yourself, do as much difficulty as you can. If you want an easy kind of time, just set it to easy. Just avoid Mario Party and avoid Mario Kart if you enjoy having friends and if you don't hate yourself. This has been another edition of Saltwater Gaming. I am Ellison Smith. Y'all go and enjoy your challenges if you are one of those that search apps for them. Otherwise, enjoy the story. Just don't pick the blue shell, and for the love of God, don't get a boo, and don't hit the Bowser's face. We'll see y'all next edition on Saltwater Gaming. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend.